The rain hammered against the tin roofs of Willow Creek like the sky was trying to wash the whole town away. Inside a dim, cramped garage at the end of Miller Street, 25-year-old Jake Turner wiped the sweat from his brow as sparks flew from the engine he had been working on since dawn. His phone buzzed again with an unpaid bill reminder. He sighed. Life had been kicking him from every direction lately. Just as he turned off the light, a sudden knock echoed from the garage door. He opened it to see his quiet neighbor, an elderly woman named Miss Evelyn Hayes, standing in the rain, clutching her shawl. "Jake, my Chevelle won't start again. I know you've had a long day, but could you take a look?" Jake paused. He had already worked a 14-hour shift. But Evelyn reminded him of his mother, soft voice, tired eyes, and always apologizing for needing help. "Of course, Miss Evelyn. Let me grab my tools." The old 1970 Chevelle sat under her carport like a forgotten relic. Most people in the neighborhood joked that it belonged in a museum. Jake didn't laugh, though. He saw the way Evelyn looked at it, the way her hand lingered on the hood. It mattered to her. When Jake lifted the hood, he realized this wasn't a minor issue. The engine was practically falling apart. Half the components were rusted, and the wiring was a chaotic mess. Fixing it would take days, maybe weeks. But the moment he glanced at Evelyn, who was nervously twisting her fingers as if bracing for bad news, he made his decision. "I can fix it," he said gently. "It'll take some time, but I'll get her running for you." Evelyn smiled, and in that small expression, Jake felt a warmth he hadn't felt in months. And so began a journey that would change both their lives. Challenge 1: Jake's struggling life. Jake had been living paycheck to paycheck ever since he dropped out of college to care for his sick father. After his father passed, Jake inherited nothing but medical debt. He worked 2 jobs, daytime at the garage and nighttime fixing whatever he could for neighbors. His boss had recently cut his hours, bills were piling up, and he hadn't eaten a proper meal in 2 days. Still, he kept working on Evelyn's Chevelle, refusing to take any money from her. "You don't have to do it for free," she insisted. "I know," he replied. "But I want to." Deep down, he didn't understand why the car mattered so much to her, but he wanted to find out. Challenge 2: The emotional walls around Evelyn. As Jake spent more time at her home, he noticed things. Old photographs hidden behind books, dusty trophies on a shelf, and an untouched piano in the corner. Evelyn always avoided talking about her past. She lived alone, spoke little, and seemed to carry a lifetime of secrets. One night, Jake arrived to find her crying quietly on the porch. "Are you all right?" he asked. She wiped her tears quickly. "Just old memories. They get heavy sometimes." Jake nodded, respecting her silence. He knew what heavy memories felt like. But the mystery around her deepened. Challenge 3: The Big Breakdown. 3 weeks into the repair, Jake woke up to a notice taped to his garage door: "Final warning before eviction." His stomach twisted. He barely had enough money to last another week. If he lost the garage, he lost everything. That same evening, while adjusting the Chevelle's carburetor at Evelyn's house, his hands shook from exhaustion and stress. Evelyn noticed immediately. "Jake, something is wrong. Talk to me." He tried to smile, but the truth slipped out. "I'm barely making it. They're taking the garage if I don't pay by next Friday." Evelyn looked at him with a mix of worry and guilt. "You shouldn't be working for free on this old thing when you have your own problems." Jake stood up, wiping his greasy hands on a rag. "Helping you keeps me going. I don't know why, but it feels like I'm fixing more than a car." Evelyn placed a gentle hand on his arm, her eyes soft with gratitude. "You are," she whispered. "The breakthrough, the Chevelle comes to life." After countless nights, endless setbacks, and parts bought with the last of his savings, the day finally came. Jake tightened the last bolt, wiped the sweat from his face, and turned the key. The engine roared to life, deep, powerful, alive. Evelyn gasped and covered her mouth, tears immediately streaming down her cheeks. She walked around the car slowly, as if seeing a long-lost friend. "I haven't heard that sound in 40 years, she whispered. Then she looked at Jake, really looked at him. "You deserve to know why this car means so much." The reveal, the hidden millionaire. She led him inside, to a locked cabinet Jake had never seen before. From it, she pulled out a stack of documents and photographs. The pictures told a story. A young, confident Evelyn standing beside the Chevelle, holding trophies, surrounded by crowds. "I was once one of the first women to win major national car races," she said softly. "This Chevelle was my partner. My pride. My escape." Jake's eyes widened. He had never imagined quiet, gentle Evelyn as a racing icon. "When my husband died," she continued, "I left the racing world. I became very private. I wanted peace, not fame, not attention." Then she placed a folder in Jake's hands. Inside were stocks, deeds, bank records, numbers that made his head spin. "Evelyn, you're wealthy." "I never cared for money," she said. "But I care for people. And you, Jake, you have been a blessing in my life. The life-changing gift." Evelyn walked him to the Chevelle and handed him the keys. "This car is yours now." Jake froze. "I can't accept this. It's your history. Your legacy." "My legacy," she said firmly, "is kindness. You restored something priceless to me, not just the car, but the memories, the joy, the belief that good people still exist." She gently placed the keys in his hand. "And I want to invest in you. I want to help you keep your garage. You're talented, Jake, far more than you know." Jake felt his throat tighten. For the first time in years, he cried openly. "Thank you, Evelyn. I don't know what to say." "Say you'll live a life you're proud of," she said. "That's all I want." The inspiring ending, a new beginning. With Evelyn's help, Jake transformed his small garage into a full restoration shop specializing in classic cars. Customers poured in from all over the state after hearing about the young mechanic who could bring dead engines back to life. Evelyn visited every week, sitting in her favorite chair while Jake worked, telling him stories about the racing world and the wild adventures of her youth. The Chevelle sat proudly in the center of the shop, not as a relic of her past, but as a symbol of their shared journey. And Jake never forgot the greatest lesson. Sometimes the people who seem to have the least are the ones carrying the greatest treasures. And sometimes a simple act of kindness can change a life, not just theirs, but yours as well.